Hey gang, what's going on? We doing weird stuff today, I guess. This is my big old easy vac, and I start all my engines periodically just to keep them healthy. And this one decided that it wasn't going to have any compression anymore. Let me show you. No compression. So what's happening? I've shown it on other videos, but it's been quite a long time ago. So I'm going to get the camera positioned somewhere and pop that head off and show you guys exactly what's going on. I will tell you, it has a stuck valve, and they're very easy to remedy. It's easy to take care of. So give me a minute to get things set up and we'll take a look at what's going on. Alright, hopefully you guys can see okay. Plenty bright enough. Just take all the head bolts loose. You have to take the front shroud off and give the head just a little tappy tap. You can try to save the head gasket, but if you can't, they're a dime a dozen for these 5-horse engines. Just lift straight up. And here's our intake valve. It's open, and as you can see, our intake valve is stuck open. So here's how you take care of that. We gotta make sure we're on the compression stroke. So we come up, boom, and then the exhaust valve starts to open. So that's our compression stroke. So we'll come back just a little bit. That tells me the cam is down, and then we take that valve and we're going to shoot just a little bit of lawnmower tune-up in a can, or you can use a little bit of transmission fluid right down on the stem. I'm going to go ahead and go around the piston and go around the exhaust valve too, since I'm in here. And I did tear the gasket up pretty good, so hopefully I have another one. Head's never been off of this engine, and it is let's see how old this thing is here. I've got barnacles growing on it, so I got to clean the barnacles off to see what year it is, because it's stamped right up here. We'll get a look at that here in a minute after we get done getting that valve to drop. And here's all you do. And you'll run it over, get it to come back up, and it did not drop back down, so we just lightly tap it and just keep doing that. Only took 2 taps, so it wasn't too bad. It hasn't been that long since I've run this engine, so now I'm just going to rotate that just a little bit and spin it over. Make sure it's going to continue. Yep, it's going to do just fine. So that's all there is to it. Very simple. I'm going to pull this up, get my gasket scraper, get all the old gasket scraped off of the head and off of the engine mating surface, the block mating surface, and get the piston and everything cleaned up, and we'll come back, button everything back up, and see if she'll start. I know she will. It's always been a real dependable engine. These 5 horses are just about indestructible. So hang on. Alright, we got her all cleaned off, all pretty, and new head gasket up underneath here. And we're going to set the head right back in place. That's why I didn't take the bolts out or do anything like that. I also cleaned the bottom side of the head. Finger start these bolts. We will gently run them down with the impact. Not until they're tight, but just snug. Stop there. That one's a little sticky, obviously. I'm not even letting them seat all the way. The head is still loose, okay? Oops. Got a little overzealous. I do have a little bit of news on the van. Sounds like the gentleman that I've been talking to about working the deal to get the engine and engine parts here is actually just going to make a vacation out of it and bring it down. So he's coming from Wisconsin. Now remember guys, 196 inch-pounds, okay? So, and you want to do a crisscross pattern. Alright? Crisscross, crisscross, always crisscross. And right now I'm just bringing them to snug. I'm not torquing them, so I'm just going around in a circle. Now we'll start the torque process, okay? You know, just opposite. And I can see that one's still quite loose, so let's get that one to where it is seated. We'll start with that one. How about that? 196 inch-pounds, that's what that's set to. There, she just seated, so pull till it clicks. Click. Come to the opposite corner. Click. Far corner. Click. Click. Across. Click. Click. And then the center two last. Click and click. We're good. We're done. Now we can put the blower housing back on, but first let me clean that off and tell you guys what year this is, because I honestly don't remember. 70s, 80s, something like that. So hang on. Well, I was way off on the year. Not easy to see. The numbers are right here. It's 1990. I was way off. But got the shroud all cleaned up. Got the barnacles off of it. Moss. Air cleaner now looks bad, but that's alright. Let's see. Oh yeah. I was going to show you guys. These are serviceable. They have a tiny little hole in the ends of them, and I'll show that to you right now if I can get the camera out of its holding place. They have a little hole right there. You can oil those, and that oils the shaft, and there's also a little bit of felt material in there. And just give her some oil, make sure some oil's coming out. Yep, drip, drip. It doesn't hurt to do that every once in a while, especially if they start sticking and flopping and kicking the pull start back out. A lot of times that's all you have to do is just give that a little bit of oil. Doesn't hurt to do just a drop around the seal and then just spin the seal so you get a thin little coat all the way around it right there. We'll finish getting that. Alright, it started dripping out on the sides, so we're going to call that full. Let me get the blower housing on and we'll yank this sucker over. It's noisy, it's going to be. It's a fixed RPM, and so you guys may need to plug your ears. Stay tuned. Alright, got her all put back together. Let's see what we get. Shouldn't need the choke. I did pre-fill by just pulling the lever or the handle really slow quite a few times. Pull fuel up into the little fuel reservoir in the tank, so hopefully it'll start first pull. Are we ready? There we go. That's why it's important to pay attention to these things. At least every 3 months, go out and start them with the ethanol that's in our fuels, and also stuck valves. So hope you guys enjoyed this little walk down memory lane for me, because I've done one of these before on the old Flora Fire Department green 9 horsepower, but this time on a 5 horse. So valves can stick. When they do stick, they can be freed up if you're careful about it and smart about it. If it was the exhaust valve, same thing. You can either take the muffler off and squirt the valve stem, or pop the head off. A lot of times you can get a tiny little pair of needle nose pliers in there and rotate the exhaust valves and get them to spin a little bit and drop. And then you just need to run the engine over a few times, get everything loosened up. Once you've got everything loosened up and where you think it's good, try to give her a start. Now you're going to want to let it run for a good long while though. Sometimes after the heat expansion and everything, they will lock back up again. If it's an engine's been sitting for, you know, 10-15 years and you're just now trying to resurrect it. So if you get the engine running and you hop on it and you go take off and do what you're going to do and it dies on you again, don't get discouraged. It could be just that valve needs a little bit more love, a little bit more working in. That's why I spun that intake valve a little bit, was to clean whatever was gummed up or causing the issue for it to stick. But I'm gonna let it sit here and run for a little while. I topped the tank off and added some stabilizer into it, and it'll be good for another 3 months. I will do my level best to pull the engine over to make sure that we're on either the intake, or get off the intake or exhaust stroke, make sure the valves are closed. So that's it. That's your friendly neighborhood Zippo. There's your video of the day. What happens when you have no compression and you've heard the engine run before, you know that the engine's good. Chances are really, really good that you've just got a stuck valve. So that's it. Please, if you enjoyed this, be part of the 18 or 15.7% now. So still 82.3% of you are watching and not subscribing. So please, doesn't cost anything, hit that subscribe button for me. Be part of the subscriber base for me. That's it. From the neighborhood Zippo, I will catch you guys on the next one. Later. I am out of here.